Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute. Songs. But I'm here now, so hey, what's up? But yeah, I have had some stuff going on, which is why I've been MIA. And I'm just making this video now to kind of fill you guys in. In this video, I'm gonna be talking in circles sometimes. Please don't get frustrated with me. This video is basically letting you know why I've been MIA, because I've been MIA for a while. I feel like I was gone for like a month, and then I uploaded like a video, and then I was gone for like a month, or I don't even know. No, this take me as I am. Anyway, I digress. So this video is just filling you in on two of the main reasons why I have been MIA. If you read the title of this video, you probably clicked on this video to get the tea, the hot goss and whatnot. And I will tell you all of the tea and the hot goss. Actually, it's not hot goss, it's actually just me doing things in my life that require a lot of change. It's not that kind of juicy, deep, traumatic or anything story time, but you are gonna have questions. And not to say don't ask your questions, but the odds are I will answer your questions in another video. These are the two things I'm willing to speak about right now in this video that will go up first, and then later on I am going to make a video explaining kind of the rest that I think people, if you care, will be naturally curious about. So if you are watching this video, wow, it's been 4 minutes guys that I've been filming and I have said nothing really. Anyway, if you're watching this video, then you will know that I, number one, quit my EPIK teaching job. Quit a very stable job in the middle of a pandemic, but it's okay, we're fine, everything is fine. And number two, I moved to Seoul. Yeah, I moved to Seoul. So yeah, that is why we're here today, folks. Okay, anyway, so for those of you who don't know who I am, I probably should have started with this. It's too late now. If you are committed and you don't know who I am and you've been watching, thanks, I appreciate it, because the rest of you guys kind of know me and I'm all over the place. But you know, if you're new here, my name is Kutlano, or K. I go by K because it makes my life easier. Yeah. But my name is Kutlano. I am from South Africa, and until recently I was an EPIK teacher in Korea. Until recently I lived in Cheongju, so that's context for this video. Okay, so I guess I'll start with EPIK. I quit my EPIK job, the most stable job you can have as a foreigner in this country. Literally, I really, okay, there are probably some other jobs that you can have that are pretty stable, but this is like, you know, the go-to stable job for foreigners who want to live in Korea. I quit my job in the middle of a pandemic, guys. Who does that? Anyway, so I arrived in Korea in August of 2019. Actually, almost to the day. Today's the 23rd. I landed in Korea on the 17th. Okay, so I landed in Korea in August 2019, fall intake for EPIK, and I was placed in Chungcheongbuk-do province. Chungcheongbuk-do province is literally like in the middle of Korea, like smack in the middle. It's an industrial slash farming province, so there's not a lot. Look, I had an option, so I had two options. I used the recruiter, and you know, in your EPIK application you say your preferred placement, like you write down which province you would prefer, or city you would prefer to be placed in. And I had written Gyeonggi-do. I really wanted Gyeonggi-do because there's like Seoul, and then like the outskirts of Seoul is a province called, or like this part is a province called Gyeonggi-do. So I heard Seoul was difficult to get into, so I didn't even think about applying to Seoul, but that turned out not to be the case. But anyway, I'll get there. And I put down Gyeonggi-do. Gyeonggi-do is infamous for not wanting teachers of color. I don't know if that's the reason why, or if it's just because it was such a competitive province and so many people wanted to go there. But my recruiter was like, realistically, you're not gonna get Gyeonggi-do. You can pick between Gangwon-do and Chungcheongbuk-do. So Gangwon-do, I don't ever think I've told my EPIK story like this. Anyway, Gangwon-do is like mountains, guys. Just I don't know, I've never actually been, no wait, I've been to Gangwon-do maybe once or twice, but just for vacation. But like, it's mountains, so I was like, nah, let me go to Chungcheongbuk-do, because it at least had like 3 decent seeming cities, and I was just hoping to get placed in the biggest one. So anyway, so I got Chungcheongbuk-do, came in, did my orientation like everyone else for a week. And then, as you know, EPIK, they don't tell you where you're going until like the last day of orientation. Like, they'll tell you the province that you're placed in, but they won't tell you the exact location, because they're worried about people, you know, not pulling through with the program because they don't like their placement. So on the last day they told us, and I got Cheongju, which is what I wanted. Cheongju is the biggest city in Chungcheongbuk-do. So to describe Cheongju, it's fairly small and it's a very family oriented city, although there's a lot of students because there's a lot of universities, so that's the only difference. If I had to compare it to a city that is more well known, I would say it's Daejeon. If you know anything about Daejeon, Cheongju is Daejeon, just smaller. So my placement then, my apartment was in the city, like literally the last neighborhood of the city, and then my actual work was like 20 minutes into the countryside by bus, 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes an hour depending on the school. In my first year, I got 3 schools. I was just gonna have 3 schools. And the first year I had a main school, I had a branch school. So the branch school was still the same as this one, except like there was a principal and a vice principal for both of these schools. They didn't have like separately. It was 2 people who were in charge of both schools, and then the staff and the students were different at both schools. And then the branch school was like, basically if the school was too full, people sent their kids to the school, and the school was significantly smaller. Like, this one was pretty big, this one was like significantly smaller. Like in the first year it was still kind of biggish, like each class would have maybe 4 to 6 students, 4 to, yeah, I'd say 4 to 6 if I remember correctly. But then like in my second year, this school got even smaller, like more kids left, and then like 4th grade had like 1 student, 3rd grade had like 1 student, but then later a 3rd grader came. But anyway, that's how small the school was. We had those kinds of problems. And then I had a Friday school that I would travel to that was far, guys. Like, it was far, like far. Like, if I missed every means of transport to get there from my house by taxi, it would have taken me what, maybe 40 minutes to an hour to drive there, I think. That's how far it was by car. So now imagine what I would have to do then was, I was riding the school bus with the kids, and I would ride the school bus with the kids at the, yo, it was so early, and I would get on that bus with the kids, drive for like, I don't know how long we drove, and then yeah, I would arrive at the school. But the thing is, that school bus would pick me up at my main school, so I would still need to make the trek to my main school, which is already 20 to 30 minutes by bus depending on the day. Actually no, that one was 15 to 20 minutes by bus, and then have to take that bus with the school kids further into the countryside. And when I say the countryside, I mean like the countryside. Like, my main school, they claim that area as the countryside, but it feels just like a dorpy to me. Like, it feels South African, you know, like just a small town. But yeah, no, this one was the countryside, like rice fields and factories, that's it. So that was the first year. I had a bomb co-teacher when I landed. My first co-teacher was magical. She just knew everything that was going on. She was organized, whatever. Then she left after a year there. She left, not a year for her, a year for me. She left because there's like a weird system in Korea where the teachers have to like change their school every so often or whatever. And then it seemed like she was working at that school for a really long time, but then also she was pregnant, and then there was some, I don't know, but regardless, she left with her own reasons. And then after that I got a different co-teacher. Oh, and by the way, my first co-teacher, super fluent in English. She was married to a foreigner, so like she knew what was going on, okay. and she, like, we had no communication issues whatsoever. Maybe like her not telling me something, but like because she genuinely forgot, or she didn't think it was important or something, you know, like never any big issues. Oh, she did scare me a little bit though. She was very particular with her teaching style, but I honestly think that because she was so critical of me, I became a better teacher. Like, I owe my teaching style to her actually. But yeah, that's another thing. My other co-teachers, one couldn't really speak English, one was fluent in English. So I was still, you know, I was fine in the first year of my contract. Then the year changed, as in like because I came in the second semester, I worked like the second semester, and then it changed to the first semester. So then I entered my new contract and I got a new co-teacher. She couldn't really speak English like at all, and it was weird because she was teaching English at the branch school but not at the main school. So yeah, it was like we also wouldn't see each other a lot, but we shared an office, so when we did see each other, we saw each other, and we were really close actually. She told me a lot of personal things. We got really close over that. But yeah, she had some problems that I can't get into, just I think I shouldn't, at my branch school. And so she left at some point, and then I was like co-teacherless for like a hot minute. Then they got a substitute. This guy, they got a substitute. He was a guy like fresh out of university, same age as me, funny enough. And he was just very awkward, bless him. He's a nice person, but we just did not gel. And it's not because we didn't like each other or anything, we were just awkward. Like, I didn't know how to talk to him. Like, if I had to talk to him, I felt uncomfortable. And I tried, like, I was that one, hey, let's have coffee together, hey, and nope, nada. Things got worse after we, like, a couple of teachers, like, who we were cool and we were friends and whatever, we decided to go out and get drinks. Everything was fine, and then he came along as well. But then, yeah, you know, when you drink, you can either get closer to people or you can make things worse. So anyway, regardless, so yeah, we just didn't mesh well. And then he also left because his contract was for a certain amount of time, and my other co-teacher was supposed to come back, the one who left for personal reasons, the second one who left for personal reasons, but she didn't come back. So then I was just co-teacherless. And for anyone who knows anything about EPIK, your EPIK life really depends on your co-teacher. Like, I'm pretty good at Korean. I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but like I can handle myself, okay? I can get stuff done. I can figure out situations. But there's something about constantly having to figure things out in a language that's not yours, in terms that are difficult. It's not even like conversation language. This is like technical terms about school and stuff like that. And hey, you need to do this thing and submit this thing, but no one tells you that. And then you get emails in Korean like, hey, why didn't you do this? And you're just like, I don't even know what that is. Number one, I don't know how to do it. Number two, number three, no one told me. Like, it was just, it became very stressful at a point for me. And it was just like, I know I learned a lot of Korean so that I could handle myself in case of situations like that, but whew, guys, not having a co-teacher, like having a co-teacher you don't get along with is better than not having one at all, in my personal opinion. Because at least the one you don't get along with has to get things done. It's in their job description. When you're alone, no one cares. No one's gonna check on you either, because they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, no, the English teacher. Like, no one thinks about the English teacher, especially the foreign one. Like, so it became really difficult at some point. Then I left that school not having a co-teacher. Like, even when I left that school, because Cheongju you have to change every 2 years. I made a video about it, like why I'm leaving my school, changed to another school. Even when that happened, I didn't have a co-teacher to help me with that transition, so I literally figured everything out myself. There were staff who were like helpful, but it's like they were helpful because they were my friends. Like, one in particular, she helped me a lot because she was my friend, but she was busy in herself. Like, she also has a job to do, and I'm not in her job description, so she can only help me to an extent, you know what I mean? Regardless, got to my new school. Even then, my co-teacher was like, she didn't really speak English like at all. The other one spoke a little bit of English, but this one didn't speak English at all. but she tried to be helpful, but it was also like this thing was kind of just, they just choose random people to be in charge of the foreign teacher, and she had no idea what was going on. Bless her, she's an awesome person. No idea what was going on though, so she wasn't particularly helpful. But yeah, I mean, she was nice though, but sometimes I really felt like, you know, I'm figuring out a lot on my own. Like, it felt like I didn't have a support system. Like, I went from not having a support system to hoping I would have one at my new school, and then she also just didn't know what was going on, so it's just like, okay, now I'm just stressed. Also, my kids at my newer school, a lot of them are very sweet, but a lot of them are very naughty, and I've never dealt with kids that naughty. Some of them, sure. And some of the kids really made me not want to go to work. I know it's a very bad thing to say, because literally I always used to say that if anything makes me go back to my job every day, it's the kids. But some of them were really like, I remember even on my first day at my new school, there was a kid who said something to me that really hurt me, and I was just like, and I'm like always the smiley teacher, so like no one knew that it hurt me, and I just like went home with it. I was like, wow, it's a freaking child who also is not even gonna remember me in like 10 years, but like they don't know the weight of what they say, and that just, I don't know, maybe I developed like an attitude towards that school from that moment. And it's weird because it wasn't like every class, but yeah, no, some of these kids were like next level disrespectful. Like, every horror story I've ever heard, every horror story I've ever encountered, some of them but yeah, so I started not liking my job, which is sad because I really like both of my travel schools. My main school is just not it, and unfortunately, if you don't like a travel school, it's fine because you go like once a week, so you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna suck it up for a day. But like when it's your main school and you keep going back most of the week, and you're just like, I don't want to be here. And it's sad because it's like you love the kids, most of them, but to wake up and not look forward to your job. I know a lot of people do that because we need to earn money to survive, because I don't know who decided capitalism was a good idea, but now here we all are. But yeah, I was just not into it anymore. And also another huge aspect besides the actual school dynamics, co-teacher dynamics, all of that, was that, you know, I am not a teacher. Like, I didn't study teaching. Yes, obviously I'm certified to teach. I have a TEFL certification, so I'm certified to teach us English as a second language. But I didn't go to university for teaching, which is funny because in high school, when I graduated, like when I matriculated high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I just applied for like random things, and one of them was teaching, and I was just like, let me just see if I get in. I did, but phew, I'm so glad I didn't. I think EPIK also was like, it scratched that curiosity itch for me. You know, sometimes you're just curious, because I was like, oh, you know, I think I'd be a good teacher. I think I am a good teacher, but I think I'm a good teacher if, first of all, I like the subject I'm teaching. Second of all, my kids are not gremlins. Third of all, I have actual power when it comes to disciplining kids so that they don't turn into gremlins, because I didn't have that either. Context. Anyway, but yeah, so like right now, actually, if you ask me, I would still be interested in teaching. Like, yeah, I don't hate teaching, but I think EPIK doesn't tell you exactly what your role is. Like, your role is going to be different depending on your school, depending on your co-teachers, whatever. In my first school, I was like an actual teacher. I felt like my kids were actually learning something. In these schools, I was the games teacher. And in some of my other classes in my old schools as well, I was just the games teacher. But like, there were classes where I actually taught, and I felt like, you know, I'm making an impact. But like, when you're playing games, you know, just all the time, like, that's all you do. You just come and they're like, oh, what game is it today? They don't care about anything else you have to say. Teach a game? Do you have a game? Like, I'm also a human who has a certain intelligence level. I'm not just a game teacher. Like, I studied so hard literally my whole life. I was that kid who was always getting good marks from primary school into high school into university. I graduated like top of my class in university to be looked at by kids as a games teacher. And it's like, you know, if they were just like, hey, English teacher, you know, okay, cool, but I was the games teacher. It's like, what fun thing does she have for us today? And even that is like a lot of pressure. And then it was also the thing of like my textbooks didn't really change between the old schools and the new schools, so I was recycling games because I was like, well, these kids have never done this before, so I'm just gonna do the same thing. And it just became like I didn't even really have to prepare that hard and all of those things. Like, yeah, I put an effort into not making things boring. That I'll say I did, because I know that if I was doing the same thing all the time, I'd be pissed off. But like as a child, because children, but yeah, it just became really mind-numbing. Like, it wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And I know there are people who make careers out of doing this, you know, and I know that you can also ask your co-teachers for more responsibility, but at the same time, when something is not broken, don't try to, like, you know what I mean. We had a good system going on with all of my co-teachers, so like nothing was wrong. It was just me feeling depleted after a day of just playing games with kids. Like, I really enjoyed then teaching older grades because they at least were like curious about things, like, hey, what's this in English, what's this, or whatever. But then when you get to younger grades, it's just like game, like, what's the game? Okay, no, actually, no, I'm lying because I did have third graders who are like, what is this in English? I had one kid who used to test me, like, can you read this in English? I'm like, of course. But anyway, yeah, like, I loved a lot of my students. I loved most of my students, and even the naughty ones. I have a soft spot for them in my heart, but there's a few where I'm just like, you made things so hard for me for no reason. But anyway, so I've been rambling. This was a really long explanation, but essentially you can gather why I quit my EPIK job. I quit my EPIK job, if we're gonna sum it up, number one, because my new school situation wasn't ideal. Actually, my old school situation started not being ideal towards the end as well, in terms of a support system. And I really think in EPIK, a support system is very important. It's very important for your sanity. It's very important. My new school, not so much as the support system wasn't there, but it was just like, especially because I think I'm fluent in Korean, a lot of people just leave me alone, like, oh, she'll figure it out. I don't want to be left alone to figure it out. That's not why I learned Korean. I learned Korean so that we can all have tea time and I can actually contribute something. I didn't learn it so that you can make me figure out things that are really difficult to figure out. Like, sometimes even natives can't figure them out, like, and I'm like, so yeah, I think I was just exhausted from carrying that energy from my previous schools into my new school, and then it not changing all that much. I had like really great teachers, co-workers, and other teachers though, but like, I'm just saying, like, your main support system is very important. And then number two, the other reason I quit my EPIK job, it just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. Some people like the games because it's just easier work, you don't have to think that hard, but I literally felt like my brain was going numb because I wasn't using it in my job. Like, I felt like a parrot. I just parrot things, they repeat them back to me, and then we play a game, and then I do points, and then I count the point. Like, just for me personally, I need work that challenges me, and my job wasn't doing that for me anymore. And then, yeah, as I said, I love my kids. I mean, they loved me too. Like, I also wanted to brag a little bit. We're gonna brag for a few minutes. You can skip the bragging if you don't like, but like, they even gave me like prizes. They even gave me like a prize. This one is a kamsajang, a certificate of gratitude, and it says English good sang. I don't know who wrote this. My kids made this without the help of my co-teacher, because my co-teacher is really good at English, so she would never let them get away with that. But anyway, English good sang, and then I have my name for it. 선생님께서는 항상 우리들을 사랑하고 아끼는 마음으로 우리에게 영어를 가르쳐 주셨기에 이 쌍을 드려 감사한 마음을 표현합니다. So basically just saying we are showing our gratitude for you always teaching us English with your loving heart through this certificate. And then 1 grade made me this. It says goodbye teacher. How cute, guys. 1 grade made me this, and then I just pasted it on the back of this poster that my other grade made me. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, they wrote me all these letters, and if you lift them there's actually stuff underneath, like it says thank you, and all sorts of stuff. Thank you, I love you, I miss you. Yeah, that's very cute. This is not all that I got, but like, yeah. And then I also had kids who used to draw, to hide their names, who used to draw pictures of me while I teach. They don't listen to my lessons. Like this girl, she's very, yeah, she's actually naughty, but I had a very huge soft spot for her because, you know, she didn't listen to me, but she would at least draw me. And I'm like, look, if you're not gonna do English, at least do like something that's gonna develop another skill set. So I'm not mad. Like, I didn't like math in school. That's okay. I'm never gonna have a job that has to do with math because it's just not my thing. And I believe that you should focus on the skill sets that you enjoy, number one, and that you're good at. So if you feel like drawing and art is for you, who knows, maybe one day she'll be a painter and I'll be able to say, oh yeah, I have a piece by her, you know. I'm not mad at you if you don't listen to my class. Like, as a teacher, yes, I want you to focus and listen, but that was just never gonna happen. Sometimes you just look at a kid and you're like, that's not gonna happen, no matter what I say. Nothing. No. Okay, this is another one that I got. This is a little book that I got. It's full of letters and drawings from my one school. See what I'm saying? Game teachers in here. Where is it? I just saw the word game. Yeah, they love the games and I loved playing the games with them. I'm not complaining about playing games with kids because that's fun. I'm just complaining about the actual lack of mental stimulation I got from it. It was fun, but like, just in terms of the actual thinking power that I was using, I was not satisfied with that. So for anyone who wants to misunderstand me and feel like I'm not grateful for my job, I loved playing games with my kids. I just didn't enjoy being seen as a giant game provider, a game vending machine, if you will. This is from another to hide. This is from another grade. They also wrote me letters. All letters and drawings from my students. But yeah, and then it says 감사합니다, which is thank you on the front. And this class actually sang me a song that they play for teachers on like Teacher Appreciation Day. So that was very cute. Look, it's like a giant I love you. It won't focus, but it's an I love you. And then this one wrote the alphabet. This is the alphabet. This one wrote the alphabet. Here's more alphabet. These kids are cute. And yeah, there's some of them who actually try to write the notes in English. All of them are in Korean except this one. And then there's one that's written in English and Korean. But yeah, I got a lot of really nice notes. I'll read this one because it's in English, so it's not gonna take me that long. Hello, my name is. I learn English because I will go Sydney. Teacher is very good teacher, and you have to be healthy if you go to another school. My English teacher is leaving, but I will study hard and have a good time. We were sorry to have to say goodbye. Well, goodbye then. And the tears streamed down my face. Any One Direction fans? That was the direction, if you could tell. This one's also in English, so I'll read it. See, huge I love you at the bottom. This one says, hello K teacher, my name is. Do you remember me? I'm sad. My teacher is leaving. I were sorry to have to say goodbye. It was fun. Even though you left. That's a why though. See you next time with a better relationship. Be happy. That's my kids. Oh, this one's another one. It's in English. Hello teacher. I'm sorry this is my last class. I'd like to see you again in class later. The classes I did with K Teacher were so much fun. Among them, the game activities were so much fun. Of course. And thank you for teaching us English for 4 months. So I guess I was only at that school for 4 months. Well, at my second set of schools. But yeah. So these are just some of them. I actually have like, this file has a lot of my memories from Korea in it, and it has a lot of like other drawings and just random gifts. This is more notes and drawings for my students that I got. More notes and drawings. But yeah, I really enjoyed teaching my kids. And I loved my kids, guys. That was literally, I think that's the most rewarding part of this job, is the children. But yeah, I had to have a very serious conversation with myself and just speak to myself about where I wanted to go in the future and whether teaching English for an extended period of time, because 2 years is already long, but teaching English for more than 2 years is what I'm about. You know, I could still teach English in the future, even in the near future, ... But I'm not gonna get into that. That's another video. But just saying, in terms of EPIK specifically, whether teaching EPIK long term was a decision or not was a conversation I had to have with myself. And I'm kind of glad that I've moved on. Yeah, it is the most stable choice you can do though. So, but I will get into what I'm going to be doing next in other videos. But yeah, so that explains the EPIK part. I didn't expect it to be this long, so this video is very long. I'm very sorry. So I'm gonna just say the Seoul part very quickly. Yeah, I moved to Seoul also because I was tired of living in Cheongju for many reasons. Cheongju, is nothing wrong with Cheongju. But also I just found Cheongju was great for me for traveling to other places, other cities, because it's smack in the middle of Korea, so that was super easy. But just in terms of opportunities, I kept having to turn down opportunities in Seoul. Like, I would get all of these influencer gigs and invites, and sometimes I would like be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I would have to get on like the 5 a.m. train in the morning from Cheongju to get to Seoul for a meeting point at like 7 a.m. or something crazy like that. And then sometimes the things would be on the Sunday, so I have to come back to Cheongju like super late and then go to work on Monday the next morning. Like, it was just getting really difficult. And I realized that, you know what, in order for my personal brand to grow also, whether I'm at a hagwon in Seoul or whatever the case is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, but for my personal brand to grow, I need to live in Seoul. And I looked into ways to like switch within EPIK to Seoul, but that turned out to not be possible from Cheongju. But yeah, like I was like, you know what, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you need to move to Seoul. So I think that was another reason why I quit my EPIK job, is because I tried to move to Seoul within EPIK, and then that turned out to be impossible because the dates didn't align with Cheongju. And I was like, well, I want to move to Seoul anyways, so anyhow, that has to happen. The moving to Seoul part has to happen. What we're gonna do in Seoul, we'll figure out later. So because I was at that point in my life, yeah, that's another reason I guess I quit my job, but here I am. So yeah, I moved to Seoul because Cheongju is great. I love Cheongju. It's my hometown in Korea, if anyone asks. But the opportunity is in Seoul, and I was getting tired of having to turn down opportunities because I couldn't make it, because they were maybe during the week, or they were just going to be too tedious or too tiring or too hard for me to pull off on the weekends and whatnot. So here I am. I live in Seoul now. That's the whole story, but it took me probably 30 something minutes to tell you guys. Editing this is gonna suck. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, I will answer you if they're questions that are not going to be answered in the later videos I'm planning to make. So if I don't answer you, don't feel like I'm ignoring you. The odds are I'm going to explain in another video, and I don't want to explain in the comments before that video comes out. So don't take it personally. But yeah, if you have any questions about EPIK, about whatever, let me know. Holla at your girl. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like I was just rambling for a really long time, and if you've made it this far, I love you so much, and you are a good person and you deserve good things. Not that the rest of you guys are bad. I know we all got things to do, we're all busy, but I'm just saying, if you made it this far, then shame. No, you are a really sweet person for listening to me for this long. But yeah, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm posting, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.